I bet y'all can't guess what we're doing today. No? I'll give you a hint. Today, we are going to be going back underneath the truck, and we are going to be installing the Diff Breather mod. So if you come down here, you can see right here, this little guy. This is the Diff Breather. It's just a tiny little valve that allows for the expansion of air and all that sort of stuff inside of the diff from heat and whatnot while driving, right? Because the gears are running all over each other and creating heat from friction and whatnot. And so this guy allows that air to expand. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook up a separate connection to this, and we're actually gonna run it up through the tire well up that way into the gas cap, or where the gas cap is. And that way, this little breather valve is up above any water height that we would ever drive through. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so here's what we got going on, right? So we got this guy right here, Toyota Genuine Union, whatever, there's the part number on it. So this is actually going to get screwed into that same hole that the current Diff Breather is, that little valve down there that I showed you. And then on this end, this little nipple end, we're going to be putting this piece of 3/8 inch just flexible tubing, and this will be set on there like that. And then I bought a box of clamps, adjustable clamps. Obviously we don't need all of them, we're going to use one or two. So I got me just a little bit of PV blaster. Did not mean to spray the ever-living crap out of my gas can. That's my bad. I'm just gonna kind of wipe up the area just in case. We don't want to get any dirt stuff on the inside here. And like I said, we got a 14 millimeter. We're gonna brake torque on this guy. I'm just gonna kind of pull this guy out, just a quick test fit, right? So this is our genuine Toyota part, whatever the heck it was called, and she slides in beautifully. All right, let me grab me one of these gaskets. So we got that guy right there. Thread him in, and he is actually going to be 12 millimeter. He's on there real good. So next, we're going to figure out where we're going to be running this this tubing. So next, we're actually going to be getting up in here. Spider. We're going to need to take off our gas cap. Got myself a handy dandy gas hole right there. And we have these 4 little bolts to take out right here, 4 screws. And then this will allow us to remove the little plastic assembly here. And it's just a little rubber grommet that's sitting around the actual entrance to the gas cap or gas can. You don't have to worry too much about that guy. Yeah, and then just keep in mind that this lip has to sit underneath there, right? So it's going to come out at like a backwards angle. Yeah, so give me a second. And before I actually, I got these 4 screws out, but before I actually remove this entire housing, I'm just kind of setting up. So here's the bleed valve itself, and I'm just kind of figuring out, you know, relatively where I want that to be. If you guys want to, you throw the gas cap back on, right, and just kind of get a ballpark for where you want this thing to be. I'm thinking I'm going to sit it right here, right in this crevice, or even down on the bottom. It really doesn't matter that much, right, as long as it's out of the way from you unscrewing it. I'm just going to use a Sharpie. I'm going to throw a little dot right there, just so that I know what I'm looking at. So there we go. We got the housing off of that, and once again, like I said, it's just a little rubber like grommet that sits around it. So I'm going to get this guy kind of cleaned up a little bit because she's a bit dusty. And then we're going to be drilling a hole that we're going to be running that guy through. And then you can't see too well, all the way that way is where we're going to be running this hose. And it comes out right here behind the tire. And then we'll run it out to the axle from there. So I got this guy cleaned off a little bit, and you can still see my mark right in there where I'm going to be drilling a hole. So I don't remember exactly how big the hole needs to be. I'm gonna test it out and I'll let you know. So it's gonna be a 3/8 inch hole, just the size that actually fits perfectly for threading this guy in. So I got this guy screwed in here. There's not a heck of a lot going on this side. You can order just an adapter if you want to have a little bit extra threads, but I think I'll be okay. So I'm gonna be running this hose and connecting it to there and then clamping it down real tight, and that'll hold it in place. So that's why I'm not too worried about it. So you can make it as tight as you want to. I made it as tight as I could. But there's not going to be a lot of stress up at this joint, right? And it doesn't hold any pressure or anything like that, right? Because you do have this up here. So like I said, this hose is just going to go over top of the wheel well. I'm just going to kind of shove it back in there. So we are back down under the car, and you can see where the tube comes out of the fender. And so I'm going to route this probably through here, which is just a little hole going on, and I'll get this all buttoned up and prettied up later. But I'm probably going to run it through the frame itself here. And look at that, I don't even have to cut it. The length is absolutely perfect. And then from here, we got another hose clamp. Slide it on right here. Pop this dude guy on the end there. Then we're gonna tighten her down. And there it is, all on there. And I do have, I feel like plenty of slack going on, at least by the looks of all these cables and stuff at our factory, so that when the truck is extended, or you know, the suspension is fully flexed and the left tire here is hanging down, it's not yanking that thing off. Granted, next time I do a full flex, I'm gonna have to look at it, but I do think it's gonna be okay. Worst comes to worst, I just route it to the left a little bit because I do have most of the slack taken up there. The last thing that we got to do is button up the gas can, so give me a second. So we got this guy popped in here. You just kind of got to wiggle it to get it onto the actual tank connection right there. Just kind of using your fingers and work it on, and we'll just be putting these 4 screws right back into their holes. So we're back, and there it is, all buttoned up. And as you can see, we can take the gas cap, throw it back on, no problem, just like that. And there's the Diff breather all set up and ready to go. Taco sauce only, guys, you know how it is. Alrighty guys, it really is as easy as that. It took me 15 to 20 minutes, maybe, you know, more time just because I'm filming. So easy to do. As long as you got the tools and the know-how, and by know-how, I mean, you figure it out. It is so easy to install. And from what I understand, really important, right? Because say you're driving through water, like I was already mentioning before, your diff is already hot, you know, and that breather is meant to allow air to go back and forth as the expansion and compression happens inside of your diff from the heating and the cooling and all that sort of stuff. And when you hit a puddle, hit some water, that like sudden super cooling that happened, not super cooling really, but the water hits it and the metal of your diff instantly starts to cool, draws air into the diff. And if the breather is sitting on the diff itself, it's not just air that's going back into it, it's water. And I don't know how bad the damage can be from water getting into your diff, but apparently it can ruin it, and that's an expensive fix. So I'd rather not have to deal with that. So I got me a diff breather mod. Like and subscribe, please help me out. Got new videos coming out all the time, and I am nowhere near being done with my project Tacoma. We got some more awesome upgrades coming for you. For example, in the near future, I'm not going to do them in the same video, even though they'll be filmed at the same time, so it's going to look kind of weird. But I have me some stuff from running for tacos, along with a replacement tailgate cover coming from Tacoma Beast, so look forward to that. Alright, well, I'll catch you guys on the next go around. Midnight Sun out.